Hello everyone, this is Il Capo Jason Gotti, your host with the most, one of the best unsigned professional wrestlers in the game today. And what you are listening to now is the Ring Fever radio show, where the fans are the stars. Tonight we have a very special guest, once again. Some call him crazy, I call him a friend. The one and only Rob Noxious. How we doing tonight, Rob?
I'm alright, man. How about you?
Yeah, I'm doing good this week. Not bad, not bad. Went to AC this past weekend, covered Ring of Combat, interviewed Henzo Gracie, talked to Matt Serra, had a good friggin' time. So
Nice. I saw on Facebook you got invited to Sarah's place.
Yeah, he invited me to his place. He was actually pretty cool. He told me if I wanted to come up and train or whatever. So that was cool. I don't live near there though. That's far as shit. So
That's awesome, though.
yeah, it's still cool. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
yeah, I wish I had more money because I would seriously try to train in MMA. I really like to fight, as you know. So
Nothing wrong with fighting.
Yeah, I like fighting.
Yeah.
I like it as a sport, not to hurt people, but just the competitiveness of it. But anyways,
It depends who they are.
true. If it's someone I really can't stand, then I have bad intentions, and they're either going to have me pass out or knock me out, and it's not good. You've seen me snap out a little bit, so.
So you're saying you're not going to tap out? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, you know what it is? If it's like a fight, like a street fight, and I hate the guy, no, I'm not tapping out. So, all right. But anyway, tonight's not about me; it's about you. So, so last week, we left off. You were talking a little bit about your career. You're talking about your training center, which is the Fort Noxious Training Center, I believe. Correct?
Yes.
And that is out in where's that at actually?
It's out in Lewistown, 120 Juniata Street in Lewistown.
Nice. Okay. So yeah, tonight what I want to talk about is I want you to talk more about your training center. I mean, I know you love to wrestle, and you've been doing it for a long time, since 1991, if I'm right. That's 21 years. Now you're kind of having the role where, not that your career is over by any means, but it's kind of winding down. You're more about training your students and training people to give back to the business, which is a really good thing, because a lot of guys aren't like that. So why don't you talk a little bit about your training facility and how things work there?
All right, yeah, okay. That's cool. Yeah, I started in 91, but, of course I took a couple years off for this and that, and, thought I fell in love, but that was a joke. But anyway, we have 2 rings up there. We train every Sunday. I'm trying to get a school down in Hershey, so we could have, I want to have 2 schools. We train pretty hard. I have special guests come in, and, different wrestlers from different areas, because, I don't know everything. I will never say that I know everything. Like Mark Metz has come up, the Cremator has come up, this young buck, Chris Banks, has come up from WoW. Jason Havoc comes up. He's actually coming up this Sunday. So, we have a lot of different people with different styles who come up and help train the guys, you know what I mean? So it's just not one style that they're learning.
Exactly. Now let me ask you a question, because not everybody, like we talked about before, knows what it's like to be a wrestler, or knows what it's like to take a bump, or even to, try out. So what exactly is a Rob Noxious Fort Noxious training facility tryout all about? What exactly do the pro wrestlers to be in training have to do if they want to come to the Fort Noxious Training Center?
Well, first thing, they shouldn't eat breakfast, because I'm going to make them puke. What we do is we basically show you how to take a back bump. Basically teach them, how to take a front bump, and then we do grass drills, like football style grass drills.
Yeah.
The high knees, and then you hit it.
Yeah.
And then they hit the mat, get up, run, hit the mat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We do a lot of cardio for the tryout, because, like I told you before, cardio in wrestling is so much different than anything else, any other sport, you know.
Exactly. It's completely different. I mean, you can be gym shape, as I like to say, but when you get in the ring, you know, you can, you know, you got your nerves, you got your, you know, all different kinds of things. It's a different kind of thing. I mean, now granted, you know, I will put myself over a little bit. I am getting in pretty good shape, but you know, I've been a heavy guy for most of my career, but I'm in ring shape. There is a difference. Would you agree to that, Rob?
Oh yeah, there's a big difference. You know, I had a few football players. I actually had one of the Penn State guys come down, and he wanted to try out. And this boy was jacked. He was like 6 foot tall, not an ounce of fat on him. You know, and he was like, I could do this. And he got in the ring, and you know, I was like, hey, don't let the fat fool you, brother. And he left probably within an hour.
You know what? You would think that he would be well conditioned in cardio from always running away from Sandusky, right? Being from Penn State.
You would think, hey, and this cat was pretty, man. You know what I'm saying? He had a good look to him. He definitely would have been some money for the wrestling business because he was jacked and he had a good look to him, but he couldn't handle it, you know. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, it goes back to what we were saying. You know, a lot of guys, you know, they come in here and, you know, they might look physically fit, you know, whether they go to the gym, whether they're taking steroids, which a lot of people do, let's be real. You know, but, you know, you get in the ring, it's a whole new animal. It's a whole new thing that most people are not used to experiencing. Let's be honest, you know, normal people aren't used to falling hundreds of times on their back on a really, really hard canvas. A lot of misconception is, oh, it's like a trampoline. I can attest to this.
Yeah.
It's not.
And they're spring loaded.
Yeah.
And you know what? I actually have springs for my ring, and I don't put the springs in because the ring actually hurts a lot worse with the springs on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so.
Exactly.
But yeah, man, like I tell everybody, you know, wrestling's not for everybody. You have to be a sick individual, first of all.
That's why we're good at it.
Yeah, exactly. To even want to hurt your body, you know what I mean? The way that we have to do it. It definitely isn't for everybody. I've had so many people, you know, try out, and you know, they don't make it. There was this one guy up in Lewistown. We did a show, and they heard that I was having tryouts. So these guys came up to me after the show, and they were like, hey, this dude is the toughest son of a bitch there is up here in Lewistown. I hit him with a fire hydrant in his head, and he's the toughest guy I know. Okay. So I was like, all right, cool. Sunday we try out. He came and tried out. He took 4 bumps. And he was like, fuck that, man. You can have that. I have a new respect for you guys.
Oh, I know. You know, it's annoying. It's annoying when people think, all right, let's get this out of the way, okay? Real quick, not to cut you off, but this is something that I think is important to this interview and into wrestling in general. Everybody wants to talk about wrestling being fake. Now, listen, you can't fake gravity. Is it predetermined? Is it a show? Yes. But it's not fake. Now, Rob, you can explain it, I think, a little bit better than I can. Talk about all the injuries that you've had from being something that's fake, quote, quote, which isn't.
Well, number one, I can watch movies with my wife and not remember the endings, for one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've gotten hurt to the point where I lost my balance. I lost 28% in my ear. You know what I mean? My son dislocated his shoulder and tore something in his knee. Yeah, I know a lot of guys who get hurt doing this, man. It just, you know, it happens. And it's definitely, I don't even like to say that F word, to be honest with you. I like to David Schultz to anybody who says that to me.
Yeah, exactly. And the reason why the reason why you feel that way, and I think a lot of other people do feel that way, is because of the time sacrifice, the money, the blood, the sweat, the tears, and your body that you put on a line. From an outside perspective, the reason why I think people think it's fake, because the winners and losers are predetermined. It's not like, you know, I'm saying anything that already hasn't been said millions of times. Okay, but as far as it being fake, it's not fake. I myself have torn my rotator cuff, broke my ankle, broke my wrist several times. I'm pretty sure I've had at least 2 concussions. I never went to the doctors because we know I'm fucking stubborn. And, you know, but yeah, I mean, my back hurts, you know what I mean? It's not fake, you understand what I'm saying? You can't fake. If it was fake, Rob wouldn't get hurt, I wouldn't get hurt, and several others wouldn't get hurt. If it's so fake, you tell that to Darren Drozdov, who's in a wheelchair right now because of fake wrestling. Right, Rob?
Definitely, man. I had this match in Lancaster, and I jumped like 20 feet off of scaffolding through a table onto another guy, and I hit my head. When the table broke, a piece of the wood hit my head, and I finished the match, but I don't remember anything after I landed.
Yeah.
And that's still to this day, and that was like maybe 7 years ago, 8 years ago.
Jesus.
So,
yeah, man. I mean, that's. I mean, some of the matches that you do. Let's talk a little bit about that. You love the fucking hardcore matches for some reason. That is your thing. Now, I already know the answer to this, but the fans don't. Why is that?
Well, there's a lot of reasons. I mean, one, I love the fans' reaction to some of the crazy shit that we do. Two, I wouldn't ask anybody to do anything that I wouldn't do. So, you know, I would rather do it so nobody else gets hurt. You know what I mean? And my fans love that type of stuff. And, you know, basically, I honestly don't want anybody to get hurt, so I would rather do it myself.
Okay. Now, was ECW a big influence to you, Rob? Because I think it was.
ECW? Yeah, I loved, like, the NWA, you know, back in Dusty Rhodes and the Four Horsemen. You know, that was, like, I loved it. You know, I watched WWE too, but when the ECW came around, man, I loved it. It was just so crazy and so ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like Tommy Dreamer, you know, I met him a couple times, and I think he's pretty cool sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, he's never done anything wrong to me, but some of the shit that he did, like being on that scaffold with Brian Lee, was just fucking nuts.
Yeah.
You know, so
exactly.
That type of shit is just like, you know what I mean? Like, I like the fans' reaction to when they see somebody like do something absolutely nuts. You know?
Yep. And I think Classic Championship Wrestling, you know, it brings a good blend of technical wrestling, hardcore wrestling. You got some lucha libre action at times, and you know, it's a good mixture for everybody, you know what I mean, to come on down. Why don't you talk a little bit about what exactly made you want to be a wrestling promoter and also wrestler, and what exactly CCW is? Define what Classic Championship Wrestling is for wrestlers and for the fans.
Basically, you know, when I was coming up, you know, you had to kiss everybody's fucking ass to get on somebody's show. You know what I mean? So, like, I didn't wrestle as much as other people because I refuse to kiss anybody's ass. You know, that's just not me. Fuck that. If I was dying, I would be like, take me, because I'm not kissing your ass to perform CPR on me. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, basically, CCW, it wasn't even meant to be mine, dude. First it was this guy named Fumars who was doing shows up at Penn State. Fumar stopped doing shows, and then Damien's Destruction took over CCW.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Damien ran one show. He did like this cruiserweight tournament, I think, and it sucked really bad, and he was like, fuck that. I'm done. And I was like, dude, we got something good. You can't just, you know, quit over one show. And then he was like, well, then, if you want it, you do it. And so I just started running shows, and, you know, I like getting the younger guys a chance to work. You know what I mean? You know, because there's a lot of places out there that they're like, oh, you're too young, you're too green, you know what I mean? And instead of showing these guys what they're doing wrong, you know, they would rather be like, yeah, fuck you, you know, when you get more experience, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there's reasons why a lot of, let's put it this way, the vets on the indies don't want to help the younger guys, and it's because just like, you know, any other level of wrestling back in the day, current day, or in the future, they're afraid of their spots, especially, you know, when they see a younger guy, you know, that has potential, well, they want to kind of pigeonhole that guy, what's different about Rob is, Rob's not like that. I mean, Rob really, truly, it's not bullshit, really does love wrestling. I mean, the guy really does. Otherwise, he would not be running these shows. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, because I don't make money off of them.
Okay, good. So you all right? That's where I was leading. You already said it. You know, he doesn't make money off of it. You know, but he loves wrestling. He wants wrestling when he's old and gray, right, Rob? To be sitting in a chair and still be going on. Correct?
Yes, dude. My goal is to eventually one day train enough guys that I can just, you know, book the show, the guys wrestle, and I watch it.
Yeah, you've always told me that. You've always told me that. Yeah. So that's
you know, because I love training guys. You know, if I could train people and make a living off of it, I would. You know, I wish that could be my full-time job, is just training people how to wrestle. Because if I could, I would, and I'd probably be the happiest person on the planet Earth.
If you were able to teach guys how to wrestle, you said, right? If that would be your full-time job. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that'd be something that you would enjoy. Now, you've trained several guys. Off the top of my head, I know you've trained Money, J Money, Vargas. Let's see, and you also have your son, Pedro, or as he's known as, PD Noxious. He also is a wrestler, and I'll be honest with you. You know, I'm honest to a fault, which I probably shouldn't be with wrestling. You know, I've told you before, you know, whatever, but he's actually starting to come along. I mean that shit, because I've watched a couple of his matches, and he's starting to be pretty good. So, I mean, I can tell that you're not taking it easy on him because it's your son, correct?
No. I don't take it easy on nobody, you know, especially my son. I actually have two of my sons actually are wrestling now, so.
And your other son is who for the fans?
His name is Stefan, which is Tommy Hourglass.
Okay. That's good.
So,
now, are you?
He's not a Noxious yet, so we haven't come up with the right name. You know, Stefan Noxious just doesn't fit. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Now you know, like you said, you're kind of trying to keeping it in the family. Now, let me ask you this: did both your sons want to be wrestlers, or did you Von Erich them?
No, I definitely didn't Von Erich either one of them. Actually, that is so funny. Pete, you know, he was a little guy when I actually really started, you know, being booked on shows, and you know, on the weekends that I had him, he would just go to the shows with me, and then you know he would go down to Mark Mets and train with me. You know what I mean? He'd come and watch me train. So Pete actually grew up watching me train constantly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and when he was younger, he would be in the ring when I actually opened the school. He'd be in the ring learning how to take bumps, do flying head scissors. You know, he was like 10 years old doing sentons. You know, and you know, I definitely didn't encourage him to be a part of it. You know, he was an announcer.
Yeah, I actually remember that. First time I was at CCW, he announced. I remember that.
Yeah, and we did this gimmick where, you know, I was a heel, and I was just being ignorant to everybody, including him, and I attacked him at one of the shows. And, you know, everything is predetermined, of course. And we did this angle. You know, he was the announcer, but he was my kid, and he was going to wrestle me.
Yeah.
Well, we forgot to tell the ring announcer that it was a non-title match, and I was the heavyweight champ at the time.
Yeah.
And so he went over, and of course, since we didn't say it was non-title, he ended up being champ.
Yeah. I was there for that, wasn't I? I kind of remember that.
And it was totally, you know, a fluke that it happened like that. But, you know, it was kind of funny that it happened. Fans reacted well to it, and, you know, he was too young to be champ at the time.
Yeah.
you know, but he's definitely coming into his own now. He's getting better. Stefan's getting really good. You know, he actually wrestled last weekend and had one of the best matches on the show.
Good. That's good to hear.
So, you know, they're still learning the psychology part, you know, and that's the most important part.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
and psychology is something that it takes a while to learn. And, you know, there's an old saying, and you say this a lot, if you stop learning, you know, then what's the point, you know, when you're in the wrestling business? You know what I mean? I always still learn stuff that's new, you know, when I go somewhere. Now, I might not agree with what somebody says, Rob, but but no, you know, you always learn, you know what I mean? I always learn stuff, and that's the thing. So that's good that Stefan's getting better.
You're always learning, man. Like you always ask me, what do I think about this match? What do I think about this match? And we just talked about it last week, me and you, when we were on the phone. And you're like, how was this match? And I said, the lockup sucked. And you were like, you always talking about the lockups.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but I think that's like one of the most important parts of a match. You know what I mean? Because if you were wrestling, I mean, if you were mad at me, and you know what I mean, and I just slapped your chick, you know, or called her a bitch, you would lock up with me, like, you'd want to rip my head off. Right?
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about now, but I don't want to put that person on the spot on the radio show.
No. No, I'm not putting nobody on the spot. I'm just saying, but it's not just them. I mean, there's a ton of people that do it. You know?
Exactly.
And it's just,
exactly.
They
I know
just get comfortable. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people just get comfortable in the ring, and they just forget the fine little things about wrestling that, you know, make it big.
Yeah, it's true. It's, you know, see, here's a common misconception that a lot of wrestlers, believe it or not, don't know. And you know, if they did know it, they would get over more with the fans and all that stuff. It's not the moves, it's the psychology. Wrestling is emotion. It's a male soap opera. They have to hate you, you know, if you're a heel, and they have to really hate you, and they have to want the babyface to win, and that's what people don't understand. I mean, I think personally, I mean, I can do both, but I think I'm a way better heel than I am a babyface. You know what I mean? I have that natural ability where people either love me or hate me, and when I get in a character, they fucking hate me. So, you know, that's the thing that people need to have.
I honestly think it's so much easier to be a heel than it is to be a face.
Absolutely.
I think it is so much harder. There's so many more rules to being a face than there is being a heel. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to, you know what I mean? You got to sell a lot more. It's just ridiculous being a face.
Exactly. Being a heel is easier. You know, but then again too, when you're a heel, back in the day, the heels were usually the better wrestlers. If you look at like Flair and stuff like that, you know, those were the guys that were leading the match. So, but you know, I kind of pride myself on being a technician in the ring. I know you do too, Rob. So, I mean, that's maybe that's a good thing that you know, we're better at being heels. I don't know. You know, that's just a little thought that kind of wandered into my brain as we're talking. But
yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love to wrestle. You know, I don't just like doing the hardcore shit. I love actual, you know, doing moves and.
Yeah. You know, I mean, it's only been like 15 years since we've seen you wrestle a fucking match without tables and chairs. But hey, nah, I'm just breaking balls. No, I know you do like to wrestle. So the fans know I'm fucking around. Him and another guy, this guy Jay Money, they usually have some really good matches. Even though Rob's hard on himself, and I think he's crazy because the last time I seen him work, it was a good match. But no, it was. Those two have good chemistry together. Don't you agree?
Yeah, we really do have good chemistry. Me and Money can work a match, and it just flows. He's one of my favorite people to work.
Yeah, he's one of my. I have a couple favorites. In CCW, my favorite of all time is Vargas, but Money's a close second. Absolutely, Money's a good worker. I like working Money, and if it wasn't for him, he's kind of the guy that, to me anyway, elevated me to the next level. So I'm always appreciative of that.
I honestly think Money should be known as Mr. Wrestling because there's nobody that can touch him when it comes to fucking. I mean, you're pretty close because I can ask Money, hey, what does Shawn Michaels wear at WrestleMania, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And he can tell me, and you're pretty close to that, too. And
Yeah.
it's just, it's nuts. It's just nuts. And in the ring, Money just wants to, perform.
Yeah, he wants to have a good match, and that's important. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's not selfish in the ring. He realizes that if his opponent looks good, then he looks good. He basically, what I'm saying is he gets the business. Now we're running out of time, so we only have about 2 more minutes left. So CCW has an upcoming show, which is their annual big extravaganza. Let's put it this way: if it's comparable to a WrestleMania, this is our WrestleMania type show, which happens to be November the 24th, which is Black Friday in Lebanon at the Eagles Hall. Rob, why don't you talk a little bit about that show, give the address, and we'll do it like that. So talk about the Black Friday show.
First, the address is 116 North 8th Street in Lebanon, Pennsylvania.
Say it again. 116 North 8th Street, right? 8th?
North 8th Street.
Okay.
We have, right now we have Manu from, former WWE star who is the son of Alpha, the Samoan. He's coming in. We have Jillian Hall from WWE coming in. And we're in the works of a crazy match. I don't want to let too much out yet because I want to make sure we got it all down before we do it. But it's probably going to be the craziest thing you've ever seen on indie wrestling. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And Lobo's going to be defending his title, and I think you're in a title match myself. I think you are, right?
That's news to me. That's a breaking Ring Fever exclusive to me. I guess I'm in a title match now. I don't know.
So we're going to have some great things on that show, man. It's going to be awesome, and we got a new ring announcer who's he's trying to get work out there. He's new to it, but he's doing all right. His wrestling name's the Bone Crusher.
It's not that kid Andrew. He don't do it anymore.
No. The Bone Crusher is definitely going to be our ring announcer for until he doesn't want to do it anymore.
Sorry, I gotta say this now. I guess I could tell you off the air, but yeah, make that kid Andrew. Is he going to be at the next show? Because I want that Pride Grand Prix 2000 DVD that you said he bought for me.
Dude, it's been sitting in my van forever.
Oh, sweet, you still got it? All right, cool. All right, back to the show.
That's funny.
Yeah, so you're talking about Andrew and and all the other stuff. Now how can the fans get tickets if they want to come to this show?
They can Facebook me. They can go to the Eagles Hall. They can go to Sharky's. They can go to Creektown Pizza in Lebanon. All these places are in Lebanon. They can actually go to the Eagles Hall on 8th Street. They can go to Sharky's on 8th Street. They can go to Creektown, which I think is on Cumberland Street.
Okay. Now, all this stuff, that'll be on the website, which happens to be ccwindy.com. That's ccwindy.com. All that information can be found on that.
Yes.
Okay, good. And once again, the address for the November 24th show, which is Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, Classic Championship Wrestling. The address to the show is, once again, Rob, say the address.
116 North 8th Street, Lebanon, Pennsylvania.
And that's Rob's way of trying to be slow and funny, but it didn't work. But all right, without joking, I want to thank you once again for taking the time to do this interview. I think it turned out very well, and CCW is a great promotion. I'm actually looking forward to wrestling once again. I miss a lot of you guys, so I'm looking forward to the show. So everybody, this was Rob Noxious, the owner and wrestler for Classic Championship Wrestling, which information can be found on ccwindy.com. That's ccwindy.com. Thanks again, Rob, for taking the time to do this interview. This is another Ring Fever exclusive where the fans are the stars. Thanks again, Rob.
Hey, man, thanks for having me.